Welcome everyone. Hail to my fellow Selvan citizens. I am I.D.G. Curry, and I would like to present to you the official Shogun of the Heavens YouTube channel, where we will be walking the path in each chapter of Book 1, Fall of Immortals. Narrating this thrilling, action-packed, and dramatic fantasy will be yours truly, I.D.G. Curry, aka, for these sample readings, the Prophet of Pagulane. Now, without further ado, enter with me as we plummet to Gaia and into Book 1, Fall of Immortals. Prophet, proceed. Several days of travel passed as Xara made her way along the narrow road of a green valley. The misty hills and mountains exuded a rich amount of mana. Xara could taste it in the air. The magic seeped out of the trees and into the fog, feeding the life that grew around it. The mist became denser further down the path. Xara's visibility was limited to about 15 feet in front of her, and this gave the valley a blissful yet gloomy sensation. The Cyclops' eye dangled beside her waist, step after step as her cloak wrinkled in the breeze. "Stop!" a voice shouted from the fog, the source obscured by the haze. "Declare yourself or turn to ash in the mist." A second voice shouted, "I am one in search of something nearly impossible to find," replied Xara. She was able to make out two women postured in front of an iron gate as the path cleared ahead of her. One of the women carried a frost-edged halberd, excellent for cleaving opponents from a distance. She wore long leather trousers and boots while her light, plated armor left her joints mobile for agility and swift strikes. The other held up enchanted fire, extending her palms to follow through with their earlier threat. She wore a long orange robe and a red scarf around her neck as she sat on a floating brown staff. Xara stretched her vision even further through the clearing mist as a temple was revealed, sitting on the edge of the citadel. Many women are left homeless, desolate, and vulnerable after losing their husbands to either plagues or war. Some of them manage to reach the iron gates, seeking shelter, though few are allowed entry. For those in search of asylum without the touch of magic, the citadel may know your plight, but they know you not. "Death is the only thing you will find at these gates, stranger." "Is death what you seek?" asked the witch holding the halberd. "Safety is what I seek," Xara answered, lowering her hood. "I have traveled far from the loss of my father and brother. My mother I never knew. Whispers told me of a haven where women can be safe and powerful. At first, I admit, I thought it could only be a fantasy in this cruel world of greed and male dominance." The witches relaxed their demeanor after determining that Xara was not a threat. "Unfortunately, sister, not just any of us who seek refuge from the sins of man are permitted into the sanctuary. Only those blessed by the spirit of magic can reside beyond the iron gate," said the witch who cast flame. She levitated while playing with small butterflies of ember under her control, displaying her mastery with an experience over the element. "I do possess magic. I simply lack the tools needed to prove it to you," Xara pleaded. "However, I do hold something that would be of value to the sisterhood. I brought this in hopes that in its offering, your Magus will allow me asylum and education here." Xara slowly reached within her cloak, while the pole of the witch's halberd twisted in the dirt, anticipating treachery. Xara revealed the eye in her possession, hoping that her brother did not doom her to fail. The typical mortal ruffian on the road would be one ordeal. However, without the Crescent Twins, an all-out battle with witches was not an endeavor Xara wanted to undertake. The two witches gazed at the Cyclops' eye. The oculi of these mythical creatures are quite versatile in the realm of magic. They can be used to make crystal balls and potion ingredients and enhance ocular devices. Give us the eye, and we will allow you to pass, Pyro Witch said. My journey has been hard, and I cannot part with it so easily. I will give it only to the Grand Magus, once I heard from her lips that I am granted asylum, replied Xara, clutching the eye in her arms as if it was her final hope. The two witches paused for a moment in their decision. Very well, though be warned. The Grand Magus has many responsibilities and may not greet you for several days. During this time, you will be permitted safe haven and be assigned tutors. However, if you fail to perform in your studies or the Magus rejects your offer, you'll be cast out immediately, declared the halberd sentinel as she tapped her blade against the gate. The gate slowly opened, and as Xara walked through, passing through the gate was like waking from an illusion, as she found herself inside the witch's coven. Xara began walking towards the temple, assuming someone of authority may be there as she started scouting the community. There were three main sections of the citadel. The outer section closest to the gate were the dormitories for new arrivals. There were beginners practicing elemental control and levitation along the road. The dorms were split into two parts, the interior for residents and the exterior for newcomers seeking a new life. The homes were larger on the exterior in order to hold more occupants. This is where page beginners would remain until they became initiates, who resided in the residential interior as qualified witches. The interior homes were smaller, though living conditions were stellar. There were only two occupants in each home, and inside were the luxuries of a villa. Witches live well in their magical community. At the center was a courtyard where the residents would spend a lot of their free time studying, reading, and socializing. The courtyard is also where those who used magical weapons trained. As initiates, they were expected to not only master levitation, but flight as well. The fountain at the center of the courtyard was a magnificent beauty. It was 3 layers high, and rose vines grew out of the top and circled around the marble base where students would lounge next to its sprinkles. Then finally, you have the cathedral, the temple that gave birth to the citadel. Since an early age, when a goddess passed on the knowledge of magic to the first witch, the temple built to honor her has stood, praising the goddess of the river. The temple rested on the edge of a cliff, overlooking the sunset, a waterfall, and the deep ravine between them. This is where the Grand Magus, who leads the coven, resides, and where the higher learning takes place. At the foot of the temple were the individual homes of the instructors and mentors called consuls, which trained and evaluated the beginners and initiates. Excuse me, are you lost? A voice said to Xara as she arrived at the steps of the temple. An initiate was leaving the temple after completing her studies and saw Xara in the traffic of practitioners staring at the temple. She was a fairly attractive ginger, wearing freckles and the reading glasses of a page-turning librarian. I don't think I've ever seen a newcomer bold enough to walk straight up to the temple before. They're typically too timid, said the initiate. I am lost, but I also know I am where I need to be. Does that confuse you? Asked Xara. The initiate descended the steps towards Xara, and her ascendant chain shined as it hung over her robes of higher mysteries. My, you are an intriguing creature, aren't you? The initiate said with optimism and interest. My name is Cassandra. I'm one of the advanced initiates of the Citadel. Your eyes are fascinating. They burn like an orange sun. What incantation did you use to accomplish that? Xara realized that this initiate may be the path to her goal. She smiled, replying, "When I came to be, I was as you see me now. I am Xara." Join us next week as we get into the next part of the saga. Shogun of the Heavens Book 1 is available on Amazon and Amazon Kindle or for order at your local Barnes & Noble's bookstore. The Amazon link to purchase the book is in the description of the video. Behold, as we all dive into the world of myths and fiction. Book 2, The Throne Crusher, is still set to be released on December 9th, 2024. This installment changes the tempo of the story, allowing us to go deeper into popular role characters who will now step to the forefront of this epic tale. On this channel, we will be providing you a series of samples read from the Shogun of the Heavens book series and complemented by visuals from the story as envisioned by the author. Please like and share the video, subscribe to our channel, and comment below. Then, while you're at it, follow us on Facebook and Instagram, where you can compare our competing galleries of artworks brought to life from the story. Thank you.